path-breaking discovery. The follow-on mission Chandrayaan-3 had an orbiter, a lander called Vikram and a rover named Pragyan. In the past 4 years, the orbiter has repeatedly observed the lunar surface and even today is working satisfactorily. Now, 3,900 kilograms Chandrayaan-3 spacecraft is being sent to the moon with the objective of making yet another focused attempt to slowly land on the lunar surface and to explore it with the help of a rover. Following the spacecraft launched by India's most capable rocket LVM-3, the Chandrayaan-3 lander carrying a rover within it will be carried into an orbit around the moon by the propulsion module. A little later, the lander will separate from that module and will attempt to make a soft landing in the south polar region of the moon. This region is of intense interest as it has many permanently shadowed craters which could contain water ice and precious minerals. Chandrayaan-3 lander has 4 scientific instruments or payloads, of which one will study the moonquakes, while the other one studies as to how the surface of the moon allows heat to flow through it. The third one will study the plasma environment near the moon's surface. And the fourth instrument will enable scientists to measure the distance between the Earth and Moon very accurately. The 2 instruments on the rover help us study the composition of the Moon's surface using X-rays and laser respectively. While the lander and rover will be in direct contact with each other. The propulsion module circling the moon will observe the light coming from Earth, the only planet which we know which is definitely teeming with life. This observation will help in understanding the nature of distant planets circling stars other than the Sun. As Chandrayaan-3 undergoes important tests and gears up for launch, thousands of ISRO scientists, including those who will launch it, control it and receive the precious scientific information from it using giant dish antennas, are readying themselves for the challenging tasks ahead. In the past, their dedication and skill have enabled India to earn praise from across the world and made it proud. Let us wish them well in this great endeavor called Chandrayaan-3.
आपके सामने हैं इसरो के अध्यक्ष श्री एस सोमनाथ। अभी मिशन की यात्रा को बताया गया है, इस मिशन के ऑब्जेक्टिव को समझाया गया।
Chandrayaan-3 has 2 predecessors with destination moon as their mission objective. Chandrayaan-1, launched by PSLV C11 in October 2008, included lunar orbiter and impactor. During the mission life of around 10 months, Chandrayaan-1 had mapped the minerals on lunar surface, acquired 70,000 images to help create 3D atlas of moon, and what's more, found water on moon's polar regions. Chandrayaan-2, launched by LVM-3 on 22nd of July 2019, consisted of lunar orbiter, lander named Vikram, and rover named Pragyan. The orbiter is still providing insightful scientific information through its payloads like spectrometers, synthetic aperture radar, and cameras.
चंद्रयान 3 की चंद्रमा की सतह में उतरने के इस मिशन को कुल 10 चरणों में पूरा किया जाएगा। संक्षेप में यह इस प्रकार है। सर्वप्रथम चंद्रयान 3 को LVM-3 प्रमोचक रॉकेट द्वारा पृथ्वी की एलिप्टिकल टारगेट ऑर्बिट, जो कि 170 बाई 36,500 किलोमीटर की ऑर्बिट है, उसमें प्रमोचित किया जाएगा। वहां से चंद्रयान में मैन्यूवर कर पृथ्वी की गुरुत्वाकर्षण की सहायता से चंद्रयान की गति को वृद्धि की जाएगी। फिर चंद्रयान पृथ्वी की कक्षा से निकलकर चंद्रमा की कक्षा में जाएगा, किलोमीटर की वृत्ताकार कक्षा में स्थापित किया जाएगा।
S200 prime chain actuation in progress।
दिया जाएगा। यह आप अपनी स्क्रीन पर देख पा रहे हैं। यह प्रोपल्शन मॉड्यूल का मुख्य उद्देश्य है लैंडर तथा रोवर को पृथ्वी की कक्षा से चंद्रमा की कक्षा में, जो कि 100 किलोमीटर की वृत्ताकार कक्षा होगी, उसमें उचित अभिवृत्ति में लैंडर मॉड्यूल को अपने से पृथक कर चंद्रमा की सतह पर भेजना है। ऐसा करने के लिए इसमें MMH और मॉन का प्रयोग कर 440 न्यूटन, इसमें आवश्यक संचार सुविधाएं भी उपलब्ध हैं।
Of propulsion module, lander and rover. Lander is plans of the mission are the first phase called the Earth-centric phase comprises of pre-launch, launch, ascent and earthbound maneuver. While the second phase is the lunar transfer phase, as the name suggests, the Chandrayaan spacecraft moves closer to the moon. Next 8 phases are in the moon orbit. The third being the lunar orbit insertion, followed by the moon-bound maneuvers phase, which mark the fourth phase. And next is, it is now that the propulsion module separates from the lunar module
6 minutes.
when 100 by 100 circular orbit of the moon is achieved. The Chandrayaan-3 in its sixth phase carries out D-boost
External power
from
withdrawn।
100 kilometers to 100 by 30 kilometers orbit, followed by the pre-landing phase as seventh phase, and then the most awaited
Flight
landing
coefficient
phase
loading started।
takes place.
Flight coefficient loading complete।
आपके सामने है मिशन नियंत्रण कक्ष का दृश्य। सभी सेंटर डायरेक्टर्स अपने स्क्रीन पर देख रहे हैं कि ऑटोमेटिक लॉन्च सीक्वेंस किस तरह पूरा हो।
3 minutes।
अब हम उड़ान से 3 मिनट की दूरी पर हैं। प्रमोचन तथा इस प्रमोचन की घटनाक्रम को पहले ही बताया जा चुका है। सर्वप्रथम दोनों S200 स्ट्रैप-ऑन बूस्टर प्रज्वलित किए जाएंगे T0 पर।
Pre-flight pressurization of the hydrogen tank commenced।
अब हम उड़ान से 1 मिनट की दूरी पर।
-45 seconds। -50 seconds।
All sequences armed। Stage ready।
Have a majestic liftoff of
Tracking।
प्रज्वलन और सफलतापूर्ण उत्थापन LVM-3M4 हम यहाँ महसूस कर सकते हैं, और यही दहाड़ है जो वैज्ञानिकों को रोमांचित कर
closer to the accomplishment of the most important milestone in its mission to moon.
चंद्रमा की सतह पर अपना छाप छोड़ने के लिए चंद्रयान-3 अपने मिशन को पूरा करने निकल
The S200 motors thrusting simultaneously, generating a peak upon. Close to 2 tons of propellant being burnt each second. Have been separated.
घटनाक्रम के अनुसार इन मोटर्स की मदद से किया जाता है। इसके बाद एल निष्पादन करता हुआ अपनी उद्दिष्ट कक्षा की ओर बढ़ रहा है।
3 minutes।
क्लोज लूप गाइडेंस के अंतर्गत है।
L1 turn stage performance। Payload fairing separated।
114.8 किलोमीटर की ऊंचाई प्राप्त कर चुका है।
We are 220 seconds past the launch time. Current altitude up to 175.5 kilometers altitude and imparts
LVM-3 M4 रॉकेट का द्वितीय चरण। इस चरण में कुल 113 टन के तरल नोदक भरे जाते हैं। ईंधन के रूप में प्रयोग किया जाता है इस चरण में।
5 minutes.
That's a piece of really good news that the third stage
जी हाँ, एक बहुत ही जटिल प्रक्रिया होती है क्रायो इंजन का इग्निशन, और पूर्णतः सामान्य, सभी तंत्र पूर्णतः सामान्य हैं।
tons propellant combination of liquid hydrogen and liquid
चरण है जिसमें लिक्विड हाइड्रोजन, लिक्विड ऑक्सीजन का इस्तेमाल होता है। इसमें कुल 46 सेकंड के करीब होता है।
while there is no much variation in altitude, this stage will add to the
पेलोड के बारे में जानकारी देते हैं। लैंडर्स पे
3 moving closer to its intended injection spot in the bound orbits. It also has a payload to lunar surface near polar regions. To measure the seismicity around position of lunar surface, LIBS or laser induced breakdown spectrum
पेलोड भेजा गया है जिससे उतर सकेगा और रोवर को बाहर लाने के लिए और संचार सुविधाएं प्रदान करने। लैंडर और रोवर में कुल 6 नितभार हैं। रेडियो एस्ट्रो प्लाज्मा के घनत्व तथा समय के साथ बदलाव का मापन करेगा। ध्रुवीय सतह के आसपास की थर्मल प्रॉपर्टीज का मापन करेगा। भूकंप जैसी गतिविधियों का पता लगाएगा।
7 minutes.
एक बहुत ही दिलचस्प वैज्ञानिक ने दूसरे जीवन सहायक ग्रहों को खोजने में मदद करेगा। ऊंचाई 191 किलोमीटर।
robustness through extensive ground tests and simulation, landing, and enable intelligent decision making for choice of best location to. The successive pictures will also enable the craft to determine its orbit. Laser Doppler velocity sensor is an upgrade in Chandrayaan-3 of craft. Insights into the behavior of Chandrayaan. The engines of Chandrayaan-3 are capable of more gradual throttling also.
दूरी पर आ चुके हैं। करीब 950 सेकंड पर और उचित अभिवृत्ति को LVM-3 M4 द्वारा एलिप्टिकल पार्किंग ऑर्बिट में लॉन्च कवरिंग कमांड दिया जाएगा। 5वीं बार में यह पृथ्वी से चंद्रमा की ओर प्रस्थान करेगा, जिसे हम ल्यूनर ट्रांसफर ऑर्बिट के नाम से जानते हैं। फिर 5 अगस्त 2023 को यह चंद्रमा की कक्षा में प्रवेश करेगा और फिर क्रमशः 5 मैनेवरिंग के पश्चात प्रोपल्शन मॉड्यूल चंद्रमा की 100 किलोमीटर की वृत्ताकार कक्षा में स्थापित हो जाएगा। यहाँ यह उचित समय और अभिवृत्ति में लैंडर मॉड्यूल को पृथक करेगा और 23 अक्टूबर 2023 को चंद्रमा की सतह पर लैंडिंग की प्रक्रिया शुरू की जाएगी।
Plus 15 minutes.
We have come close to 900 seconds after the launch. Currently, the C-25 stage is thrusting. Current relative velocity is 9.29 kilometers per second.
जी हाँ, कुछ ही क्षणों में हम देखेंगे तृतीय चरण LVM-3 M4 रॉकेट का चंद्रयान को उद्दिष्ट कक्षा की ओर ले।
Satellite injection condition is achieved.
अभी पुष्टि।
Handing over to mission director.
This is mission control.
The launch has also added a feather in the cap of LVM-3 rocket.
आपसे आज्ञा लेते हैं।
We sign off.
नमस्कार।
Up next is address by Secretary.
Congratulations, India. And let us wish all the best for the Chandrayaan-3 craft to make it further. Mr. Mohan Kumar and also the project director of LV.
Thank you, sir. Honorable former secretaries of the department, invited dignitaries, respected, proved it to be the most reliable heavy lift vehicle of Indian space. Vehicle systems are in the continuous process of quality improvement, especially approaches. We are in the process of increasing the launch incorporated in this vehicle. For example, the S200 nozzle, they are processed, qualified to be the human-rated engine with indigenously developed LET throats, and CE20 stage also is
Describe all those details later because of shortage of time.
Yes, sir. I take this opportunity to thank all. First is released and mission executives are identified. Really, this is major players to the small-scale industries, who players of chemicals, propellant ingredients, suppliers of the industrial manpower is really our ISRO's virtual manpower. Everybody's efforts went into this, and called the also the prayers and best wishes of all our seniors, retired executives, everyone's prayers and our own family members. I take this opportunity to pray God Almighty for all the blessings in the form of this success, which was the penance by the ISRO family for last 73 days. And my prayerful pranams for the successful continuous operations of the Chandrayaan spacecraft, for its safe and soft landing on lunar surface and further experiments. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Respected Chairman ISRO, Center Directors, dignitaries, and my team Chandrayaan-3, very happy to note that our Chandrayaan-3 has been injected into an intended orbit with very close orbital parameters. Congratulations and thanks to LVM-3 team. And all our spacecraft health parameters are normal, including the power generations in both propulsion module and lander module. Our journey to moon has begun now for the most awaited soft landing. We'll be closely monitoring and controlling the spacecraft from ISRAC Bangalore. Many critical events are line directors for entrusting me this opportunity, who are behind, who have thanks to the expert committees for their constant guidance throughout. My special thanks to URSC council members, group directors, deputy directors across the ISRO.
Amongst us during this historic occasion of success of launching of LVM-3.
Honorable Prime Minister had very recently said, sky. This day today, the 14th of July, 2023, he might have been short of resources without any slightest embarrassment. That is because.
Thank you, sir. We will also introduce the directors of the centers. Chandrayaan-3, the Chandrayaan spacecraft itself, and made all those critical systems.
For Gaganyaan. To salute the entire ISRO community, especially the VSC community, and thank you.
Dr. Narayanan, Director LPSC.
And for all the Indians across the globe on this momentous occasion of the successful launch is as expected, as predicted. In fact, the precision, the L1 stage, C25 stage, it has performed extremely well along with all already well integrated. The system health is very good. Today's success is the culprit. I am sure all further mission operations will be a grand success, and we'll thank you. Jai Hind.